It is time now. I am done working for the day. Well, pretty much. I'm done working for the day. That truck is finally done. It's ready to be picked up. I'm so excited because things are coming together right now. It's about 3 to 4 hours until people start showing up for the, I don't even know what I'm calling this. It's the watermelon carving party, but I call them summer pumpkins because that's what they are. They're big gourds that are, you know, like pumpkins, only they're green. Yeah, so I'm about ready to go to the store and get some supplies for tonight, and then we'll get back to the house, and then I'll start, you know, doing stuff around here, getting the yards mowed to make things look presentable, and getting, you know, chairs laid out, table, and everything like that. Really excited about today. Let me tell you guys something just for a second here. A little known fact, back when I was in elementary school, I actually used to get sick at the day of parties, like Christmas party, Halloween party, when we were still allowed to have those, Valentine's Day parties. I would end up sick that day because I would be so excited about the party, I would get sick. And I'm starting to feel a little sick in my stomach right now. That's how excited I am. How do you test your melons? Do you knock on them, squeeze them, and two, that one looks kind of round like a pumpkin, doesn't it? All right, watermelons, check. Why is it we always find the noisiest shopping cart? We got skewer sticks, so we can poke stuff with our sticks. 1, 2, bam, bam, bam. Everything in one place, I love it. Look guys, it's beginning. Mwah. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. Oh, wow. I wonder what s'mores would be like with Reese's peanut butter cups. Reese's s'mores. That could be a good idea. Remember that. Try it out. Let me know how it is. I just told myself I wasn't going to turn around to show you guys this, but I guess I will. Halloween City, baby! Like I said just a little while ago, it has begun. A couple hours later, the yard is mowed. The watermelons, hold on, you guys should have seen me carry these. The table's here, pallets are here in case we need additional carving space. Chairs are all wiped down. There's not enough chairs for everybody, but a lot of us are young and we can stand. Not that there's going to be a lot of old people here, but I'm just digging myself a hole. I'm going to stop. You guys should have seen me carry these watermelons in because I was carrying them like this. And it just goes back to what I was saying, that melons come in all different shapes and sizes. No two are the same. Got the front yard mowed, got the sweet grass smell. All right guys, they have arrived. Kellen and Jake, I said that right, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, good. From Grandpa Bardeen's, and look what Jake did. Oh my gosh, that is so entirely awesome. I'm gonna run copies before I ruin it, is that okay? Fair enough. Awesome, cool. A few in different sizes too. Oh wow, that's what she said. What? Different size? Oh cool. That's so awesome. It's their trunk of goodness. It's funny, they said that they had to get the trunk out of the trunk, and I was like, oh, that's funny. But they actually did pull the trunk out of the trunk. There he is. There he is. Delivery. Oh my gosh. Pizza and melons.
What, you want this?
Every guy's dream. I missed the first cut.
Well, that's okay. We really, you know, would only do this with watermelons anyway, because pumpkins aren't as easy to cut. But I want to get an even position for this watermelon so it stands up and it's stable. And so yeah, for this purpose.
That makes sense. And now we gut it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the fun part.
Oh, if you want to do it, then please be my guest.
Like you've never done it before.
I usually did the other parts actually, because I was tiny and my hands were small.
So here's the table that they have set up. Here's the carving kits.
And these were the kids helped me.
And I also want to tell you guys too, if you want to get some awesome tools that are not the other tools that they sell in the store that are extremely cheap, if you want some good tools, GrampaBardeen.com.
Completely curved out, but you get the depth.
And in case you guys didn't know what we're doing today, we're doing watermelons. We're doing watermelons.
The fun thing about watermelons, I suppose, is that if you leave the back red, then it glows red, so that's the entire point. But to make it easier to carve, usually thin the the face of it out so that it's white. So like that's why the face of these scoops are flat, so that it allows you to thin the wall that you're carving on.
That makes a lot more sense instead of like trying to use a spoon that actually gouges it.
Right, exactly. Mostly we try to choose melons or pumpkins that are flat on their face because they're easier to carve and stick a pattern to.
I think that is the sexiest design I've ever seen for a pumpkin.
First you trim, or I just tore this pattern to make it, to get rid of all of the white space. And then you just fold the corners to make it fit the round surface of the watermelon or pumpkin that you're carving, and then try to do it in such a way that you don't have too much distortion of your pattern. Some patterns that are less complicated, you can kind of find places where there isn't very much going on to fold the pattern.
See, this is the awesome thing. Carving and eating, I love it.
Just goosebumps, Ram. I was trying to be nice.
Go for it.
I mean, Ram's melon.
Whoa. How do you feel about this, Ram?
Like I told him, I'm getting goosebumps.
Wow. Okay, so answer me this. Why is it you show up and the sexual innuendos just like...
Don't know. Ram brings out the worst or the best in all of us.
Keep my mouth straight because there's ladies present, too.
That's okay, we don't mean to offend you. Oh! Oh! Sorry, had to.
Basically, if you have a longer curve, you can poke farther apart. But if you have two pieces that are very close together where you might mistake where the line goes, then you poke closer together. So you're trying to save effort, but more holes isn't necessarily bad because it'll make it more obvious where you're supposed to carve. We usually hold on to the patterns so that if we're confused, we have something to reference.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So poke away.
Absolutely. Have at it. You really can't overdo it.
Well, first of all, people are entrusting me with the knife, which is like the wrong thing. Second of all, I knew that if I didn't carve one, you guys are going to give me a ration of something. Okay, so Jim's over there. He's rinsing his out. Blech, all over the ground. Killing his carving. Ram is behind me, doing things above my head. See, this would be cool if you guys can find a way to like make an actual pumpkin red on the inside, like cut into it. I don't know, feed it like food coloring for water its whole life or something like that. I don't know, that'd just be awesome.
So the trick to getting your pattern to show up in a watermelon is just ordinary flour. Here, rub some on the surface, you dust it off, and then you can carve. Industry secrets. For these tools, you hold them like a pencil, and if you do that, then you'll be far less likely to break them ever. The point is that it's supposed to be a dexterous tool that is easy to change direction. It's none of this sort of thing. It's none of this sort of thing. It's just like a pencil, and the aim is to keep your hand kind of perpendicular, or the tool perpendicular to the face of the watermelon or pumpkin. No stabbing, people. The only time you're kind of stabbing into it is if you're cutting out the bottom. So we usually cut a hole in the bottom, and that involves a stabby motion, but that's part of why these saws are thicker and bigger, because they're there for the harder work.
So when you're carving a normal jack-o'-lantern also, your thing is to carve the bottom of it also?
Always carve the bottom, because, you know, just like these are obviously fake, but that way the top, which is more decorative, stays intact and it won't fall into your pumpkin. And if you have just a light, then you can set the pumpkin over top that light and plug it in.
Nice.
So it's better in all ways. It's less obvious. It's cooler.
So if you still use
the top.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you still do it old school and you use a candle, do you still put it like a breather hole, like in the back or something?
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
cool.
Yeah, you just see where
to get that nice
goes.
pumpkin scent.
Exactly, cinnamon and nutmeg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you just, like, you literally make a chimney hole wherever the smoke goes and put the carbon spot on the roof.
Keeping your jack-o'-lantern for a long time.
Right. You know, so it's tricky because obviously they're perishable things and you've just thinned them and then carved them. So the principal thing that you want to watch out for is mold, which is why soaking them in a bleach solution in like, you know, a 5-gallon bucket of water or something, submerge the whole thing in bleach water.
For how long?
For, you know, 1 to 3 hours. I mean, you can't really overdo it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it kills the mold.
Right, and it protects it.
Right.
It will also make it less likely for squirrels to eat it because now it smells toxic.
Squirrel! Sorry, had to.
If you have some extra fridge space,
What
then
was that?
you can cover.
I'm sorry, I heard a weird
know.
noise. Were you
No,
trying to be?
Squirrel!
Oh, okay.
There we go.
It didn't get the squirrel part out. It's just. Okay.
So if you want to keep them as long as humanly possible, and you have some extra fridge space, you just wet the front down and put saran wrap and refrigerate it. And you can get pumpkins to last for a week at least.
There is a way to get them to last longer.
Wow.
After you give them the
Okay.
bath,
Yes.
set them out, let them drip dry, and then get some clear polyurethane, like a clear coat for paint, and go over and clear coat all surfaces, both outside and inside. Let it dry, and you can have them from up to a month to 2 months.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh.
It doesn't mold like.
Not after you've given it your bath, and then you polyurethane it, the surfaces are all closed, so mold can't get to it.
That's crazy.
We do that with gourds.
4 dried out after they rehydrated it. That is awesome. Because I mean, looking at these to be like, oh yeah, that's after you guys first carved it, and this is after it sat a couple days. But it's the other way around. Man, see, you guys are learning all sorts of stuff.
There you go.
I'm glad that we had you out here. Thank you.
There are 3 different sizes of saws, and so depending on the complexity of your pattern and what you're doing, then you'll pick the saw that suits your needs. The biggest saw is really for cutting off the bottom of your watermelon or pumpkin, and you can use it for very basic patterns. Like in this pattern, if there's a really long curve, then that'll go faster if you have a larger saw. This one has bigger teeth, so it can take bigger bites out of your pumpkin or watermelon. Because this is a little bit more detailed, I'm using the medium saw. For other parts of the pumpkin, I will use, or watermelon, I will use the smallest saw because that's the only one that kind of allows me to get that much detail. The main point is to hold your saw like you are holding a pencil, not like a screwdriver or, you know, a horror movie. And you kind of gently insert the saw into the pumpkin or watermelon, and you saw dot to dot, kind of trying to keep your blade perpendicular to the surface. So that's kind of the tricky part that, you know, people just get used to it after a while. You develop a bit more skill. Not necessarily skill to talk and carve at the same time. Describe what you're doing.
I know, it's weird being on the other side of the camera. They have these awesome drills that come in 3 sizes, not to be confused with the Whispers on TV drill. But these are really cool and they're fun. And I'm not just saying that, they are. They're actually really fun. In case you have any kind of pattern that has a hole, or I'm sure that if you had like a, like even this right here, I'm sure that you could probably start hole here. That way you'd have a spot for your drill or your cutting tool to start. Now you've got a nice round little section to start with, and you can continue your pattern. How do you get everything so straight? Because I know that there's a thickness to the wall of a pumpkin or a jack-o'-melon. Apparently someone else has already stolen that hashtag, and I'm quite upset about it. But how do you get it so straight so that everything is even?
I mean, the best way of doing that,
besides practice.
Right, besides practice. Number 1 way is just to have been doing it a lot. But no, like if you hold it in your lap, that's really the easiest way to get a consistent angle on all of the pieces, because it just is in the same location and your hand can be in the same position. Then, you know, it's practice getting to move your hand just up and down without moving it side to side, but that comes more quickly than you might think.
Okay. So basically your hand is in the normal position to where your hand would just lay on it, and then you just turn it exactly the way that you need it, and that makes everything consistent.
Right. Think about moving the saw like a sewing machine, where it's really just moving the saw up and down. It's not really moving it forward as much as you're just kind of taking tiny, tiny little bites out of whatever you're carving. This piece is particularly challenging because it's so close to all of these other bits. And so the other thing about watermelon is that they sometimes get a little spongy. So what I'm doing in order to carve this piece is actually holding it from the back side. So particularly when I put my saw into the watermelon, I'm being very careful, and I'm just carving it with pressure from the backside. Don't stick your finger with the tip of the saw. It won't do too much damage, but it can hurt sometimes.
At least you won't leave any blood traces with a watermelon. It's already red inside.
There you go.
There it is, Troy. Grab it.
Grab it. I want to grab a bat. I think that's illegal.
He's going back to eat.
Yeah.
Feed the babe.
Yeah, feed the babes, not eat the babes.
No.
Never know.
Man, look at that. That is just so awesome. I love nature. Unless nature's all up in my house, and then we got a problem.
Yeah, he said good luck doing the tree and stuff.
Well, it's not his tree, but
It's close.
it's close enough, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. That's awesome. And honestly, right now, I love the way that the background is red and the foreground is lit up with the green. Nice.
It's a bowl. I can make cereal.
What's the white stuff? What are you guys doing?
I've been doing a little cocaine today.
Watermelon cocaine, is that the new thing?
Snorting cocaine.
You didn't know? It's the newest craze.
It's the newest thing. Man.
Oh, man.
Flavored cocaine.
See, us old people don't realize this until like 2 years after the youngsters are doing it. So I guess a watermelon is a thing to do. So we're going to use these skewers that I got earlier, and we're going to put them around the fire, and we're gonna poke all the watermelons with our sticks. Love it. We had to get cinder blocks to make everything even. I love your scare hollow though. That's really good. All right, thank you to Jesse for reminding me. I didn't have the Hellmouth one over here. Shame on me, I know, but I didn't want to ruin it. But that is just so badass. And scare hollow right next to it. Oh, perfect haunt harmony. I just want to say thank you to everybody that came out tonight. It was really, really an awesome time. And I don't want things to end, so I put a little bit more wood on the fire, just in case you guys were wanting to see it. Those wood skewers that I got hold all of them together. I had wanted to put all of the shells on the rock, but it was just way too uneven, so we just got the concrete cinder blocks and did it that way. Really cool effect, don't you think? So, it was a good day. Happy haunting. See you guys tomorrow. Love you. I really do. I appreciate you guys watching. Thumbs up. Don't thumbs down. If you thumbs down, you can just go somewhere else. Just go somewhere else if you're going to do that, because we don't need that kind of riffraff here. See you guys tomorrow.
Happy haunting.